Good evening, everyone. We're ready to get started. I am your council member, Barbara Burke. Welcome to the joint Neighborhood Northeast Ward Community Meeting. Your presence here tonight shows that you deeply care about your community and the future of your neighborhoods. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming. I'm going to take some time to thank some people, and I'm going to start with the leader of this church, Bishop John C. Parks. Please stand up and let's thank him. Let's thank him for allowing us to have this meeting here at his church in the sanctuary of New Hope Missionary Church. I also want to thank my assistant, Zena Johnson. I think Zena is out in the multi-purpose area, but I still want to thank Zena. I am sharing Zena as a community assistance liaison with the North Ward with Mayor Pro Tem Dee Dee Adams, and I'm fortunate to have her helping out in the Northeast Ward. So she's working for you too. Please know that. Here is Zena. Give her a round of applause. There are a number of city staff employees here tonight, and I'm going to take my time and try to acknowledge them and thank them for coming. If I forget or leave anyone out, please speak up, tell me, because I don't want to do that. We have our Assistant City Manager, Mr. Ben Rao. Assistant City Manager, Angel Wright Lanier. From our Neighborhood Services Department, we have Brian Cheney, Assistant Director over Code Enforcement. Mr. Sean Helms, and it is his birthday. He is a supervisor in Code Enforcement. We have some members of Neighborhood Services, Lyndon McKinney, Courtney Smith, okay. I know you all have heard of CityLink. Let's give them a huge round of applause, starting with the CityLink director, Ms. Karen Witherspoon. Amanda Easter, Assistant Contact Center Director. Ms. Witherspoon, can I ask you to introduce the other two ladies on your team? Good afternoon. Thank you so much. We also have here from the Human Relations Department, ready to translate Mr. Javier Vega. He's in the multipurpose room. Let's give him a round of applause. From our outstanding marketing team, I will put them up against any marketing team anywhere. I'm going to start out with the leader, the director, Deborah Clark. I saw Justin Patterson, right here. Mr. Larry Bell in the back. Katie. I don't see Scott Rogers, but I have him listed. So we'll clap for him, even in his absence. And I know that you noticed that we are covered. We are protected tonight with the WSPD, and I want to thank Sergeant Van Buren and Officer Brevard. They're outside tonight. They will be coming inside the meeting, and then when you're ready to leave, they will make sure that you get to your cars safely. So we'll go ahead and give them a round of applause. a few housekeeping procedures before we get started. As you arrived, I hope that you were given some index cards so that if you have any questions, you can write your questions down. And at the end of the presentations on your agenda, we will give an opportunity for those questions to be answered. Another thing, this meeting is being recorded. It's being recorded and it will be put on the city's YouTube page for future reference. If you provided your phone number and your email address, we're hoping to be able to send you a link to the recording of this meeting as well. We're going to go through some processes, and you will have this link or the YouTube link as a reference to be able to refer back to when you empower yourself to take charge in your community. So, the purpose of this meeting is to equip you, every resident here, with the knowledge and the tools that you need to address issues that affect the quality of life in your community. Many of us see issues every day as we travel throughout our ward, throughout our city. And so tonight, we're going to address some of those issues such as trash, graffiti, high grass, high weeds. They're coming. Again, it's that time of the year. Junked cars, junked yards, illegal dumping, abandoned houses with broken windows and open doors, street car repair businesses on the street where we live, untagged cars on our streets and in our yards, and many other conditions that create eyesores and safety concerns in our neighborhoods. These issues can make our communities feel neglected and uncared for, but this meeting tonight is all about showing how we can take action together to bring about some changes. So the ultimate goal of this meeting is to empower you with the knowledge and tools that you need to help you improve your community and the Northeast Ward. We're going to bring Brian Cheney up, and Sean Helm, and they are going to provide step-by-step instructions on how to identify code issues and how to report these issues. They're going to walk through that process and share resources. And again, if you have questions, write them on the card. Your questions will be answered at the conclusion of the entire meeting. I hope that this meeting will encourage you to take an active role in helping to keep our neighborhoods clean, well-maintained, and safe. We want a vibrant Northeast Ward community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Burke. I am Brian Cheney, and I'm with Neighborhood Services. What we'll do first is we'll go over some topics, issues that you know that you have concerns with. And then Sean will come in and he'll talk about step-to-step Acela processing, where you can contact CityLink either dialing 311 or the Acela process. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. Now here's environmental nuisance. 95% of the cases in the Northeast wards either has something to do with what we call environmental nuisance, which is trash, graffiti, high weeds, overgrown shrubberies. Our next case is probably about 2 to 3% of our cases in this ward deals with housing. And oftentimes what we see is during this season, there's a decrease in our housing cases, but we actually are anticipating an increase this year because there's a lot of new construction going on here. There's a lot of rehab, and what we're finding is, if you look at the first two pictures there, and both of them are burned units. They're two different properties, and it all happened within the last 60 days. So we're anticipating that increase because we know that we're doing a lot of building these new construction, but there's a delay in folks buying and purchasing these new structures. So we know that AC units are going to get missing. People are going to break out windows. People are going to steal the plumbing. the gutters. So what we say to you is, if you see something, say something, because that helps us protect you and your neighborhood. The next two slides are not just issues that you have to deal with in the Northeast wards. These are national issues, encampments. We know right now that your targeted area for homeless encampments are off Hangs Mill Road, University, that cut through that takes you through Patterson. And what we've been lucky to do is stabilize them in that area, but there's a condition that it takes all of us. We work with police. We have a internal group that is our Continuum of Care COC team that deals with homelessness. So all of us use a joint effort, but we do know that homeless encampments are growing throughout the nation, and right now we sort of have an eye at a target area where most of your encampments are. Illegal dumping. That's another thing that is a national issue. And then within the Northeast Ward itself, there are 16 of them. And we have a frequency where we go out and we abate these on a weekly basis. Sometimes there's twice a week. We even got some locations that we do 3 times a week. What we know happens is it doesn't matter what our frequency is. It seems like every time we go there, they're still dumping. And we know a lot of it is outsiders, because we see toilets, we see sheetrock, we see construction materials out there. So again, if you see something, say something. That helps us out. And we know that since 2018, you went from 10 to 16. And we're hoping with the new constructions, we can change this as well. So we actually have it stabilized for now. Rapid response team. That's a new team that we've added to our abatement team. There's 13 of them. This is a team of 3. And what they go out and do is they go to your illegal dumping sites, be it weekly, be it twice a week, be it 3 times a week. And they are the ones that are actually removing the trash that's left at these sites. You may see a mattress on the side of the street. You may see a car going down the street and something fall off the back. Contact CityLink, because that's what our rapid team does. They go out and they address issues that can be a hazard to the community, especially when it's right in the right of way. And I could tell you this about our abatement team / rapid team. There's only 13 of them, and we are a small portion of the abatement team that deals with garbage, trash. And last year, we abated and disposed of over 720,000 tons of garbage. And there's just 13, remember that. So that is the size of, we equate that as 2 Carolina Panthers football stadium, filled from the bottom to the up, and it's just 13. So you're keeping us busy, and we like it. So if you see something, say something. Call us. But at this point in time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sean Ham. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Sean Helm with the City of Winston-Salem's Code Enforcement. Again, thanks to everyone for coming out tonight. I'm here to explain some things that we're starting to see become more of an issue in the Northeast Ward. I'm going to start off by speaking on animals and fowl. Chickens, which we get calls on a lot, and it's starting to get a very big uptick in those calls here in this, especially in this particular area of your ward. Chickens, you are allowed to have chickens in the city of Winston-Salem. You can have no more than 5 on your property, and they have to be within 20 feet of all property adjacent to the property, all property lines. They also have to be kept in sanitary conditions, and they have to be kept in what we call a chicken run or a chicken coop. Now, male fowl are illegal in the city of Winston-Salem. That includes all male fowl, that's mostly roosters, and they do break the city's noise ordinance. You know, roosters going off early in the morning, waking people up, yes ma'am, 5:30 in the morning. So we try to take those calls, and we actually notify the owners that those are illegal and they have to be removed from the property. We also have other animals that we get called on in this particular area, and we're starting to see like an uptick of goats, sheep, donkeys, And they are legal in the city of Winston-Salem, but again, they have to meet the required setbacks. Goats and cattle, they have to be with 50 feet of all property lines. And if you notice, most properties over here aren't even the size it takes to have those animals. So a lot of times when we get those calls, we have to unfortunately tell the tenants or the property owners they're not even allowed to have those particular animals on their properties. Also, and Councilmember Burke spoke about this, abandoned vehicles. Abandoned vehicles on the side of the road, on properties, are all against city ordinances. We have different codes and ordinances that we use to enforce the removal of these vehicles. So if you look at the top left picture up there, that's an abandoned vehicle on the road. When we sticker those for 7 days, and the owner of that vehicle has 7 days to remove that vehicle. And that includes campers, 18-wheelers, especially when the 18-wheelers, when they just park the cab and they leave, and the trailer's probably left off somewhere, but we also tag those as well, and they can be removed as well. We also have an issue with motor vehicle storage yards. That's when you have multiple vehicles on your property and they do not have the proper registration. So you are allowed in the city of Winston-Salem to have one vehicle without a proper registration. Anything over that, you can be cited for motor vehicle storage. We also have an issue with people using their properties as repair shops and repairing cars on the road. Again, that's illegal in the city of Winston-Salem. We are responsible for removing those vehicles when they're on the road, and we have another department, zoning and planning, which gets rid of those businesses being ran out of people's properties. The last thing you want to see when you come outside is somebody running a repair shop next door to your property. It also leads to oil and things like that going into the city sewer system and water system, and we try to get ahead of that as well. These are some of the abandoned properties that we have in the Northeast Ward. Abandoned properties, again, as Mr. Cheney would say, when you see something, say something. When we get these calls, especially from police, a lot of our abandoned properties, people start going in them, living in them, breaking and entering, and so forth. When these properties have open housing cases on them, we have the right to ensure that the owner secures these properties. So it's good to give us a call, and a lot of times WSPD does reach out to us, and if we have a case on that property, we can send out our what we call an order to secure. If there's not a case on the property, we will come out and we will cite the property for minimum housing violations. Also in these properties, we're seeing an uptick of them catching on fire, as it was stated earlier. People are going into these houses. It's that time of year where it's cold outside, and they're going in these houses, and fires are happening and they're burning down. So it would be a help to you and us if you do see that type of activity, that we get a call so we can come out and take care of these properties before they burn to the ground. So going forward, I'm going to start explaining the best ways to contact us for these requests, these violations, or any type of issues that you're seeing in your neighborhoods and your communities with abandoned houses and vehicles and the environmental nuisances that Mr. Cheney spoke about. Okay, our system is called a cellar. A cellar is a very transparent system that we use here in the city of Winston-Salem to help track your complaints. So I'm gonna go through how to submit a complaint using our Acela process, going to the city's website and accessing it through CityLink. So when you first get to CityLink, you'll see right there, it says report code violations. You will first click on reporting the code violation, and then you would submit a report. Once you get to submit a report, you'll see in the top left-hand corner, you submit a complaint. Once you select submit a complaint, it will prompt you to go to the address search. So we're gonna create a fictitious one real quick just to show everybody how this is done. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna select an address and we're gonna just use 100 East First Street. Once you select your address, please remember to hit the search button. The search button helps populate the ownership and the parcel number which we need to receive your complaint. And if you scroll to the bottom of the screen, you'll see that the ownership and the parcel have been populated at the bottom left-hand corner. So if you scroll up to the top, at this point, there's only one thing that we need you to do further. Right here it says, please list a detailed description. Right there, you can tell us where the address is and what you're calling about. So we'll just put trash across the street from 100 East First Street. That gives us a roundabout area to go and investigate the issue. So once you select the case description, you go to the right-hand corner and it'll say continue submission. Right here, here's a checklist making sure again that your ownership is there and the parcel. Once you see that those are populated, that lets you know that it will go to the code officer in the particular ward that you're selecting in. Again, you will click continue submission. Once you get to this screen here, you will see a green line and step 3 telling you that your complaint is submitted. Also under your complaint, you will see that there is a case number. That number is there for you to track the complaint that you put in for that particular parcel. If you see beside your submit complaint, you'll see search cases. All you would have to do is put your complaint number in the box there, and it'll give you a step-by-step guideline of where we are in that particular case. While Courtney's pulling this up, we're going to show you all step-by-step how we come up with that. It's a 12-step process. Again, you're going to search the city of Winston-Salem, and you're going to go to CityLink. Once on the site, you're going to select report code violation, and you'll select to submit a report. You enter the address of the violation and click search. Describe the complaint in the detailed description box and then ensure that the parcel number and the owner name is populated at the bottom of the page. You're going to continue your submission. You can review your complaint. Click continue submission once again. Once it says your submittal has been successfully received and your record number appears, you have completed your submission. And you can track your record using the complaint number once, and the submission is complete by searching cases. And again, sometimes, some of us don't want to use the computer. We're not all computer savvy. I know it took me a while to learn this step-by-step approach, but you can always contact CityLink and submit your complaints there as well. And Amanda Easter from CityLink is actually going to come up now and show you how to put that in and select your own login so you can track these cases as well. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amanda Easter, and I am the Assistant Director for CityLink 311. So I'm going to walk you through how to create an account. As you saw, Sean did not create an account, and that is A-OK. So you may be asking, well, what's the point of creating an account? Well, for some people, you tend to write a case number down on a piece of paper and then lose it 2 days from when you wrote it down, or your wife comes through cleaning and she throws it in the trash. So creating the account, you never have to worry about keeping up with that case number. So in the top right-hand corner, you click on register for account, and you're just going to fill in some basic information. It's going to ask for your name, email address, things to that nature. Once you've created the account, you will go back to the Acela page and click login. Once you have created the case or your account, you can submit just as Sean has shown you. If you want to review your cases, in the top center, you're going to hit My Records. And then the status of those cases. If you have questions about the status of your case, you can contact CityLink and we'll be happy to assist you on that. Again, we know that not everybody likes working with computers or doesn't have one. That's a-okay. CityLink is here for you. We're open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. We can also be communicated via chat and email. Okay, thank you.
I am London McKinney, and I serve as your Community Engagement Manager with Neighborhood Service Department. We have 4 different divisions in our department, and tonight you've met one of them, which is our code enforcement. So tonight I'm going to share with you how to request one of our neighborhood service staff to attend one of your meetings or one of your community events. Our form is that you normally fill out on our website is being redesigned, so I'm just going to give you a few steps, okay? We want you to go to the City of Winston-Salem's website. You're going to select our Neighborhood Service Department. You're going to go down to Community Engagement. When you get to that page, you'll see a block that says Meeting Requests. You want to click on that block, and then you want to schedule your meeting. We only need a few simple steps. We want you to provide your name, your phone number, and your email, and just give us a brief description of what you would like for our staff to assist you with. Once you submit that, our staff will get an email and we will reply back within 48 hours. Okay? So please make sure that you reach out to us because we would love to come to your neighborhood. All right? I'm going to introduce Mr. Ben Rao.
Thank you, London. So just to continue with that discussion about how you can connect with the Neighborhood Services Department, and then the next item on the agenda, how you can also request a meeting with Councilmember Burke. When you do receive correspondence from the Neighborhood Service Department, they will also be copying Councilmember Burke so that she is aware that you all have requested a meeting with our Neighborhood Services staff. And then, as far as you're reaching out to Councilmember Burke, earlier in the evening, we introduced Zena Johnson, who was the Community Assistance Liaison for the Northeast Ward as well as the North Ward. And so we would ask that you also email not only Councilmember Burke, but also Ms. Johnson to make sure that they are aware that you are interested in meeting with them to discuss whatever concerns that you may have. Ms. Johnson has her contact information, so please stop by on your way out to make sure you get that information so that you can reach out to her if you have any concerns. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who has shared so far. I want to go backwards and acknowledge some other individuals present tonight. If you are a neighborhood association president in the Northeast Ward, please stand up and be recognized. I want to thank each of you for your leadership, for your dedication and commitment to making sure that your community is a better, safer place for everyone to live. Thank you so much. If you're part of a neighborhood association in the Northeast Ward, a member, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you also for your care, concern, and commitment to your communities. I saw Pastor Banks from Goler Memorial Church come in, and I want to recognize him. Pastor Banks. You know, when you're in the church, you always acknowledge clergy. Do we have any others? If so, please stand. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I would like to acknowledge the members of Liberty East Redevelopment and Allen Tate Realtors. Would you please stand at this time? Liberty East Redevelopment and Allen Tate Realtors have been great partners in the Northeast Ward. They have designed and built quality homes right here on Cleveland Avenue. They are building on New Hope, not New Hope, Willie Davis Drive. And they have also built off Lansing Road in that community, the Lansing Ridge community, and on Patterson Avenue, just all over the Northeast Ward. And we are grateful to them because, as I said, they have built quality homes. Let's give them a round of applause. At this time, I'm going to ask Clement Little and Jared York, and Jared is with Dream Key Alliance. They asked if they could be part of this meeting tonight. They would like to make a presentation. Again, we're talking about people who care about the betterment of the Northeast Ward. So they have some ideas that they want to share with you, and I did tell them I would have space on this agenda for them. At this time, Clement and Jared, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. All right. Well, first of all, I'd like to recognize everyone and say thank you for inviting us and having us here. We have some new exciting things that we feel would be a part of community. As we grow together, we find things that we like to build memories around. I grew up here in Winston and spent some time on the other side of the state and here to give back. One of the things that we're looking to do is start a marketing program to build memories. So as we're redeveloping the houses here, we're looking to offer several things. As you see, we've got a yard sign that says, "I love Northeast Winston."
And we've created signs.
So these are things that you can put in your front yard, driveway, by the porch, to build memories and say, hey, look, we're proud of our community, and this is where we are. We also have T-shirts that we've designed. I love Northeast Winston. We've got hats as well. So things that just, when you're doing community work, you build memories around these things, even little things like stickers, die-cut stickers. The kids can put these on their computers. And even if you don't wear the T-shirts every day, you wear them sometime during the week and throughout the day. And as you wear them, you remind yourself of the community that you've built, the community that we have here as neighbors and neighborhood associations and what Councilmember Burke has been building. So we'd like to offer this and then come and see us after this is over with. We're going to raffle off some of these to give some of these to you all. And then also, we have a link, if you go to the next slide, to make these available for purchase as well. We'll figure it all out. We've got, I've got my computer to make sure that I can gather everyone's contact information, but we want to make sure that we want to commemorate the progress that we're doing here. I grew up here, spending time here, in the community here, and I'm very proud to see what's happening here, the redevelopment, the new houses, the new opportunities, and this will just help to build some memories around the progress that we're building here as we continue to move forward. Any questions?
Somebody's getting ready to raise their hand.
All right. We'll be over here.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to ask Sergeant Van Buren to come and speak to you for just a minute. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself. This wasn't planned, so if I'm not as eloquent as everybody else, I apologize. I'm a newly promoted sergeant to this area. I've worked this area pretty much my whole career. I'm passionate about it. When they asked me where I wanted to go, this is the community I wanted to go to. I wanted you guys to see my face, because if you see me, come say hey to me. I'm a firm believer that working with the community is how we're going to solve crimes. I've spent the last 7 years working gun crimes, whether it be shootings, homicides, or robberies. It's what I'm most passionate about. But without you guys, there's no way we can solve these problems. I also want to take the time to let you guys know that since I left patrol in 2019, I just came back. The technology that we're using right now is like nothing I've ever seen. We're solving more crimes with technology than you would believe. We got drones, we got cameras. We have a ton of assets to us, so I just want to take a second to thank the city council, command staff, and the city manager for helping bring that possibility to light. As you know, we're working with shortages, and all this technology has helped us out. So again, I'm the District 2, Zone 2, which is this side of the city, midnight sergeant, or at least one of them. If you see me, come talk to me. If you have an issue with anything, feel free to call communications, ask for Sergeant Van Buren. Be happy to talk to you about them. We also have the beat officer on my squad out in the parking lot, keeping a watch on everybody's vehicles and everything, make sure everybody gets in here safely. Feel free to say hello to him. He's an excellent officer. I could not be more happy with him. Again, Sergeant Van Buren, just wanted to say hello to everybody.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Van Buren. We feel safe just with your presence. At this time, we're going to have Q&A. You all, I think, received some cards so that you could write your questions down, and we have them being collected now, and we'll try to answer your questions. You can read them.
Everybody, my name's Jennifer Creisen. I work for the city of Winston-Salem. Here's question number 1. What action can be taken of cars parked in a no parking at any time? Am I just reading these, or, oh, you're gonna answer it?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Cars parked in a no parking zone, please contact the WSPD. That's an illegally parked vehicle. And when you see those type of vehicles, please contact your non-emergency number, and they'll respond accordingly.
Okay, you might want to stay up. Next question. We have a neighbor with goats, chickens, and roosters that get out and annoy other neighbors. We have called the city to investigate, and they were given the okay to keep them.
No,
Get the address.
we need the address.
Okay.
Because, yeah, they shouldn't be given the right to keep a rooster or goats or chickens depending on the land size. They should be given the right to keep a rooster? No,
Not a rooster.
no, not at all. Excuse me?
We will get the address from you.
Yeah, just give me the
Yeah.
address. Yes, ma'am.
We'll go back.
Okay, next question. Can you name a decision you voted for in council that you now believe was wrong? If so, explain what you've learned from it.
I can't, I'm the only one who could answer that question, and I cannot think of any vote that I have made a decision on that I have any regrets or a change of heart.
How to check the status of a code enforcement complaint. And to go along with that, what does closed case / open actually mean? And how to check the status of an open case.
If you have an account, you can go into your account and click on the case number, and it'll show you your status. If you don't have an account, as long as you have that case number and you go to the Acela page, you type that case number in, it will pull up your case number, and I'll let them explain what the statuses mean.
Closed, open on a complaint status means that that complaint was closed and a case was created and is open on that particular complaint. And once you go and track it, you can see the status of where that case is. It will be either in notification, which means we're sending a letter out, or it can be in an abatement phase where it means our staff could be going out to abate the property and bill the owner. Closed, open means that the complaint has been closed and turned into a case. It's transitioned into the code case for that property. And you can track it the same way. It'll show you everything that that complaint turned into.
And remember, all complaints are actually closed when the when the property is cited. So you're gonna have a lot of closed complaint, but there's a new case that's already been generated. The best thing is if you could pull it by the address, you'll see all the actions that's taking place.
Okay, next question, 2 parts. Why not schedule bulky pickup once a month on a designated week to alleviate bulk trash issue?
So as you know, currently, we provide bulk item collection March through August, roughly. We send out postcards to the areas of the city that are going to be collected each week. Ask that residents place their bulky items on the curb that Sunday evening so that the crews can come through and pick those up. I think that is a suggestion that city management can consider, as we look to, possibly address the issues that we are experiencing with illegal dumping and just generally, some of that unsightly, trash that we do see throughout the community. So we'll certainly take that suggestion into consideration. Thank you.
Next part of this one, why didn't all residents in the ward receive notification of this meeting?
Deb, you want?
Good afternoon. Deb Clark, Director of Marketing and Communications. We did send out a postcard, I believe, with the information. However, if the address is just slightly incorrect, it kicks back to us. We sent out over 700 postcards. We also put this on our Nextdoor app. And I think we had this also on our Winston-Salem TV 13 channel. And we really tried to push it out. If you didn't receive a postcard, then we'll check with our vendor because it's a vendor process. And we'll make sure that those addresses with the vendor are corrected. But we did send out a postcard.
Okay, here's a suggestion on drug houses. The city can send a suspicious activity letter to the residents. This lets the occupants know that they are being monitored, but also include information about GED training, job training, Wake Forest Law School students, free management, expungement sessions, okay? Trash on the corner of Patterson Avenue and Sheraton Street, homeless camp. Junk cars, 30th and Patterson. I'll probably just give these to you.
Yes.
Big trucks going down Ogborn Avenue illegally. Okay, what is being done to all of the vacant houses that seem to be condemned? What are the guidelines for having a house that is being used as a house to help ex-convicts, felons, re-enter society?
I could speak to the vacant houses. If a property is deteriorating and is vacant and it's been vacant for about 6 months, we put it on our demolition list. And it's a process that we go through, and then when we get to a certain stage, we have to take that property to council to get permission to demolish it. So if you do have one in your neighborhood, there's certain ones that we are aware of. So if you do have one there, then we can do that aspect of it. And the second part of the question might be approved. Oh, the house is not vacant. I'm going to ask Officer Vanderbilt to step in and take that one. Okay.
Because this one was one that I checked on specifically, and I'm going to read the email Okay, according to one of our city attorneys, when someone wears or is required to wear an ankle bracelet, that, according to the attorney, does not make that person dangerous under statute. To meet the legal requirements, there still needs to be some kind of evidence that harmful conduct and a reasonable probability of future harm is occurring. And I did pass that on. So if you have some ocular proof where you see something going on, you send it on in, you send it to me, and I'll send it on down, okay? Thank you.
This next one's a good question. When a code is reported to the city and the identity of the reporting neighbor kept confidential, I think they're trying to say, can it be kept confidential?
Yes. Yes, all complainants can remain anonymous.
And there's a button that you click if you're on using the app.
If you do not have an account, you don't have an option to insert your name, so you won't have to worry there. When you create your account, the very top option lets you pick a username. As long as you don't use your actual name for the username, your name will not show, and it would just say your username. For the example I used, I had thinking N2K because that's not tied to anybody in particular. So as long as the username is not your name, you will be good.
Okay? All of these are going to go to the council member, but I'm going to stick with the topic. So do you give individuals a deadline to remove their unauthorized animals, or when you go out to the proper, or when you go, do you take them at that time?
The statute does give the citizen a due date on removing the animals. The city of Winston-Salem does not remove animals off of properties. They get what we call civil penalties and fines. So any time a rooster or the chickens are still present after the reinspection by the inspector, we send that to the city attorney's office, and they reach out and they put a judgment on the owner of the property.
Can I just elaborate? By law, every time we cite a owner or a tenant, we have to give the owner the opportunity to abate the violation. So there is always going to be a period of time that the owner has to abate the violation before we either abate it or they may be subject to fines and civil penalties.
I've got two here related to dogs. What about the neighbor's dog barks all night, all day? Then another one, we have a problem with loose dogs. When we call, they have left before anyone arrives. Your suggestions?
Yes, loose animals, that needs to be reported to Forsyth County Animal Control, which is ran through the Sheriff's Department. And dogs barking, that is a noise ordinance, again, handled by the WSPD. Code enforcement doesn't handle dogs barking.
Next question, what can I do about fines levied on me? I'm blind. I don't.
Did we abate it? Does he or she have a lien against their property, or?
I'm unsure. I'll get the address for you.
She's behind us, if you give her the mic. Good evening.
And people will dump trash on them. I have someone from Services for Blind to come out. They read my mail every 30, 35 days. By the time I have been noticed that trash on my property and put a lien against it. I have to pay that. It's not fair. I want to know, what can I do away from these fines that I am levied against me for someone else's trash?
The best solution I can tell you, and you may not like this, but you probably have to get you some cameras. Because unfortunately, when we get the complaint, we cite the owner of the property. Even if you're renting it, The correspondence go to the owner of the property.
Okay. What are the guidelines for parking cars in the front yard?
Stonehenge? If you live in Stonewall, you're covered. If you don't, there's really nothing I can do. We can give you a checklist that you can get together with your neighbors, and 60% of you have to be on board with that. I would get with Miss Zena because we just gave her that checklist, and then that way you can petition that you have that in your neighborhood, because right now there's only one in the city, and it's in the Northeast Ward.
So if they have poured concrete and parking on concrete, they're parking in a driveway. And the question was about parking in the yard. And I do get a lot of those complaints. And like Mr. Cheney said, if that is a concern that you have in your community, if you can get, and there is a process you have to follow, and if you would reach out to Zena, she can get that information to you, but the process is pretty much the same as if you wanted some kind of traffic calming measures in your community, like speed bumps. You have to get at least 60% of your neighbors to support that. You have to get their signatures, and if you get that, you have my support 1,000%, and we'll take it to council. That's how you can get that done.
I'd like to know where the line is drawn in residential neighborhoods where people live and people come and move and kind of conduct business in the neighborhood as if it's a business district instead of residential neighborhood. You know, people would like to go in the backyard, some of them without having tractors and all these type of equipment in their yards. I know everybody own their property and so forth, but some of the properties seem to look more like a business than where someone lives. I've been living in this, well, not here, this neighborhood, Auburn Station neighborhood, same house for 48 years. And when I moved there 48 years ago, it looks a whole lot different now, but than it did then. But people had tractors because of the teal gardens and stuff like that. But I live on the street where, man, I see a person's house look like a business district where he putting all his construction equipment and all that sort of thing. If they're gonna have that stuff in their yard, I think they need to have some type of screened-in fencing where someone don't have to see that mess.
You can put that complaint in with CityLink, and it'll be routed to our zoning department, and they specialize in businesses. And what they'll come out and do an investigation, and that way they'll let that, because it's not in a business district, it's your neighbor in a residential. We're gonna get you, you stay by, we're gonna get you our card so you can call us and we can route you to the right people.
All right, next question. What is being done about the property on New Walkertown Road near Tracy Street? It has become an eyesore in the community and has been reported several times.
I am well aware of that property. It's New Walkertown Road, and it's beside what used to be called the Tree. I have reported it to zoning. I have taken pictures. I have done all that I can do. And the people who own the property, according to zoning, are well within their legal right to put what they have placed there in preparation to build a home. I think I've already checked on it. That's the response. We can talk offline. Thank you.
Rapid response team. What is the response time a complaint is submitted, once a complaint is submitted?
Probably within the next 3 to 4 hours. It depends on the severity. If it's on a sidewalk, it's probably going to take a little longer. If it's impeding traffic, then that's something that we have to address right away. Their hours? They're there from 7:30 to 4:30.
All right. Suggestion for police. Citizens provide officer-friendly driveways where the police can sit in our private driveways and finish their paperwork, etc. This gives police presence in the neighborhood, which could deter crime. What is the process for actually talking to your city manager opposed to talking to her assistant? I probably assume that means city council, but the manager also has an assistant, so I don't know exactly which one.
I can tell you, if you call my office, you're going to get Zena. And depending on what it is the concern is or the issue is, if it's something that she can handle, she will handle it. But if it's something that you would like to speak with me about that she cannot handle, she will make sure that I speak with you directly. Yes.
And our customer service, and I was not getting assistance. Sorry about that. And I was not getting assistance. On Monday, I think it was, no, Sunday, Old Dog 30, I called her number, her office number. It was late at night. She called me at 9:21 in the morning.
Oh.
By 12:30 the next day, everything was addressed. I thank you so much for addressing that because it was a need and I didn't think I would be heard as quickly as I was. And thank you so much.
My
for that.
pleasure, and I'm so happy that I was able to help you. And thank you.
Jean.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is this. I submitted a complaint, and I do have a response code, but I don't think it's been closed. It's been a while. Now, my question is, there is an area in front of CVS at the corner of New Walkerton Road and Martin Luther King. My concern is not the lady who sits on the bench. I'm not trying to get her in trouble or get her jailed. She is unhoused, so she has to have somewhere to stay. But my concern is the trash that's on that corner. It's really a eyesore because that street is a thoroughfare. Martin Luther King, it's our neighborhood. I don't know if, I understand, we talked to CVS. He has this concern also, but he says it's not his property, so therefore he can't do anything about it. So I want to know who that property belongs to right there at the corner with the two benches. Okay, so I'll assume Galilee is responsible, but I'm not sure. Then if we move on down between Wells Fargo and Mount Zion, there's a large area there with a lot of trash. It's like a valley of trash there. So who's responsible? Because I've never seen that area cleaned at all, never. So could you find out who owns that property and have them be responsible for cleaning it up for us, please?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you're saying that CVS, but the pharmacist, the manager said he has complained also about the trash. And the city told him that, I don't know, it's kind of convoluting, but I think somebody's responsible for it. It needs to be cleaned up, and we deserve it to be cleaned. And we thank you for your time, and thank you for giving me time to say that.
Another question. When we were out in the community, we found a lot of abandoned units. What are the city offices doing to hold landlords accountable, to make repairs, and to ensure the units are in compliance?
if they are abandoned, make sure you either call CityLink or go to a seller and put a case in so that we can come out and do an investigation. And that way, when we do an investigation, then we can hold that owner accountable.
Excuse me, what that question was talking about, when we were out in the community, we saw apartments rented, major units, it was their press, all the units, they found up, and the tenants told us that they would move them from unit to unit rather than repair those apartments. So I want to know, what can we do to make sure that the landlords are held accountable to repair those units and get them back in force? Because we do have, a shortage of homes.
If that tenant lives in a unit, it has to start with that tenant. Because that tenant has to be the one to call, because that's who's gonna let us inside the unit.
Well, you know that tenants are reluctant to turn their landlords in because there are owners will come back and have a situation where they retaliate. Now, we know that that's not correct and that's not the law, but we know that does happen. When you have a tenant who is in a situation where they don't want to be moved out, they're not going to come in and complain about their landlord. So what is the city ordinances to do to make sure these landlords have tenants' rights and they're being held?
I got Javier right outside, Human Relations. That's where you would start, but we would have to get inside that unit to be able to cite that owner to hold them
Javier,
accountable to make those repairs.
share with them about landlord-tenant mediation.
All right, we have an office at the Human Relations Office Department at the City of Winston-Salem. We have 2 investigators, and we have an intake specialist. So their name is Adolfo Briseño, Iris McKnight, and Carlin Duncan. If you have any problem, any landlord issue, tenant issue, please contact Human Relations. They are the expert on those situations. Yeah, I'm not the expert on that area. They're the expert on those landlord-tenant disputes.
Thank you. I was going to say that is a legal issue, and we do have people in the Human Relations Department who are quite experienced with landlord retaliation. So I would reach out to them to see how they can assist. But before code enforcement can cite the landlord for any violations, it has to come from the tenant.
This problem has existed for about 40 years. Why isn't there a stoplight at the corner, at the intersection of 311 and Northampton Drive? We were told 10 years ago, if someone got killed out there, they would put a light. Someone got killed. There are at least an accident every week at the corner, at that intersection of Northampton and 311.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. That is a very dangerous location. I was coming from Walkertown just a couple of weeks ago, and when you're coming from Walkertown, heading back up toward behind where the Piggotts live, it is a blind spot. I almost had an accident a couple of weeks ago. This is something that, Ms. Thomas, where are you? Ms. Thomas, we've been working with Ebony Hills. I had city staff come out to your meeting to address our concerns for that location. And we really wanted to do more than what is going to be done. But right now, they've already done the underground work to put some kind of signal arm at that location, and it should be installed. The last email said by June. Is that correct? By June. So we're waiting to see. Yes, ma'am.
They don't meet that deadline, then we have another discussion. So we need all your support. We need all of your support.
So something is coming, and I hope that it will make a difference, and I hope that it will save lives.
More that probably apply. This first one would be a suggestion for police constant guns fired at Winston Lake Golf Course or Lakeside. 2 years of software canceled to detect the shot guard, whatever that program was called, shot spotter. Suggestion, can a city ordinance be implemented to prohibit homeowners from parking vehicles in their front lawns? It depreciates the value of other homeowners' properties. And that's kind of everything that we have.
Again, that would be the no parking on the lawn designation, and Zena will have that information.
Vehicles parked on the lawn between tearing up the grass, how the beautification of the neighborhood, as well as the mud and dirt that is on the tires that ends up in the neighborhood. In order to get the ordinance to apply for your neighborhood, you have to petition it. After which you petition it, you have to have 60% of your neighborhood to agree that they want this ordinance to apply in your area. Many neighborhoods have tried. Many neighborhoods have not been successful. Many neighborhoods have not tried at all and probably could make it successful. So it is up to us, you all, if that is what you wish, to start the petition, speak with your neighbors, express to them why you want it, and try to get the 60%. The only community in our area is Stonewall, and Stonewall has had it for 6 years now. They went to city council 3 times because it had to be reviewed to make sure that this was still what they wanted, what the ordinances, how the neighborhood was complying. And it was very successful and it was embraced, and so now they do not have to appear before council anymore. You have a question? No, it starts with homeowners first. And then if there is a renter and the homeowner does not wish to sign it one way or the other for living out of town or whatever, then the occupant has the opportunity to sign it. But they do ask them first.
Another requisite is the area has to be 100,000 square feet. So if you're on somewhere like Carver School Road, whoever is petitioning, when they submit the paperwork, they're going to use 100,000 square feet. So if you're on Carver School Road, that could include portions of King Hill, Longbrook, or if you're on Butterfield, that can include some of the Oak Ridge neighborhood. It would just depend on who is petitioning. Yes, ma'am. It's 100,000 square feet. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You would use the county's tax parcel, and you would get, it shows you an aerial, and you would use whoever's the petitioner, that would basically be the center. And then you would go into the neighborhood. Right, because all neighborhoods aren't just, one big square. Like I said, with Carver School Road, yes.
What's on the books that needs to be reevaluated to help to improve our neighborhood? For instance, we're talking about the cars on the lawn. Maybe that's one that maybe city council say, this is old. Things have changed. We need to get this off the books and just say, do something else with that. Has that been addressed?
Mrs. Traffic, that is an excellent question. And I will say with the last 2 or 3 meetings I've had with Assistant City Manager being Rao, I have asked about making some changes. And one change in particular that I have asked if we can create a new ordinance for, not a change, but a new ordinance. This is just an example. I have asked about, we can have, according to city ordinance, one untagged vehicle at your home, in your driveway. You can have one. But I have asked that we require that it have a car cover, a commercial car cover on it, because if it's junked, if it won't run, it probably looks like it. And that is not a good look. And so that's something that I know Mr. Rao is working on. I've asked him about several things, but that's one example. But I love what you just said, Mrs. Travick. Why don't we get together and take a look at ordinances that the community would like for city council to review again and see if we can put them before council. But it's going to have to come from you all. And I'll be the passer through, okay? Thank you so much. Great suggestion.
Okay, this was a two-part, well, two questions. It's asking how to cite someone for motor vehicle storage. When you make those complaints, motor vehicle storage complaints go through our zoning department, because typically it's someone running a business, selling cars, multiple vehicles on the property, and they'll route it to the correct personnel, either on their staff, or we'll work together on that. Also, it says, what's in order to secure? In order to secure, after we cite a property and we've notified the owner of that property of the violations, we send out what we call a repair order. It tells the owner, basically, you have this amount of time to fix the property. Once that repair order expires, our order to secure enforces the owner to either board up the house, shut up the doors so people can't get in and out of the house, break in, and cause some of these fires that we've been seeing here lately. So that's what an order to secure is.
We thank you for all your questions. Councilmember Burke.
Thank you all for answering the questions. Thank you all. These were great questions. And if you come up with some additional questions, please reach out to my office. We will be happy to try to get a response. Mrs. Travick, I'm going to look to you to kind of organize us so that we can consider what the community members feel like as far as ordinances you would like to see changed or revised. So let's work on that going forward. I, again, want to thank everybody for coming out, because this reflects how deeply, again, you care about where you live. And I care too. And I want us to work together to make it a better place. One more thing, Mr. Shaw, just a minute. One more thing. Someone asked, how were we notified about the meeting? And I just want to say that everyone had an opportunity to sign in this evening. We asked for your information, your phone number, email address. When we have that information, we will send emails out, text messages, and then you'll become part of our mailing list. I know for many people here tonight, I sent a text message. If I had your number, I text you. Because I thought that it was so important for you to be part of this meeting. Mr. Shaw? Neighborhood services.
I know one time things was kind of closed. A lot of people are not aware of that, and some people just can't afford the high dollar stuff. I bought my house through the city 40 years ago, and I'm still there. But I'm in a position where I'm a good handyman, so I kind of do my own little stuff, but a lot of people can't afford to do that. Chipping the paint, maybe plumbing, electrical work that needs to be done that'll bring their house up to code. So maybe that needs to be addressed so people can know that that is out there for them.
We do have that program that's still available. Funding's a little shaky on some of it. So we will be, when the funding comes down, and we're expecting that soon, we will be notifying everybody, and then we're gonna go on a tour so that we can meet with you all and say, and let you know what we have, what kind of program. Be it a turn program, be it a rehab, just painting windows, HVAC system. So we will be out in the community when we know that, and we should start coming out in about April. Yes, probably May, I'm sorry. We should be coming out about May, June.
I have a question.
Sure.
I had 3 questions. One question was not answered, but I think it highly impacts upon what the gentleman just talked about, and that's our property taxes. I know this is not a property tax meeting. However, the increases recently on our property taxes especially impacts the elderly, and I'm elderly. So I want to know who's fighting for us to keep our taxes lower, because many of us had over $2,000 tax increase. And that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, with increases in your property taxes like that, that affects how your neighborhood looks. If we are priced out with taxes, how the heck we're gonna fix our homes and we're on fixed incomes? So the property tax is a big issue for me, which directly impacts how the community would look in certain cases.
Yes, ma'am. I can appreciate being on a fixed income, and you want to know about voting. I will tell you, when it came time to vote to increase taxes, I voted no. Go back and look at that public meeting. Thank you.
I'm Brittany Bailey, and I currently serve on the Board of Equalization Review for Forsyth County. So if you have a question about your specific tax bill, you had time to appeal it. Once you do an appeal, you can meet with an appraiser, and they can reassess your property. If you come to a commonality where, okay, you feel like it's a fair market value of an appraised value, then you can move forward with the new tax value. If you still feel like it's overappraised, then you can still file an appeal and become on the board. So you can file an appeal. We will review your application. The appraiser will be there to justify how they came up with your appraised value. And then you can also tell us the condition of your home. Do you feel that the tax value is at $2,000? So you have the right to appeal by being a Forsyth County resident. You can appeal your tax bill, and that's for everyone. And anyone in here on a fixed income, you do have the option to apply for a homestead exemption, which that can also be a decrease and reduction on your tax bill. So you have that right. Right, it's an income limit, but we don't make those limits. The state of North Carolina, the statute has those limits that we have to go by. So are you earning, I think it's about $36,700. If you're earning over that, then you wouldn't qualify. But anybody that's earning below that can qualify. And then even if you can't apply for that, you still have the right to appeal. So I want you to know that you can appeal your property tax. Thank you.
We want to thank you for coming out. If you have any additional questions, Sean and I will hang around, but we thank you for coming out. Have a great night.